when did Shauna DTP?
Shauna, yeah. Shauna was 2006.
Okay.
That was funny. So I remember going to my big homie Shorty Capone's house. I mean, I went to XL's house, who was managed and still is managed by Shorty Capone.
That's a friend of my father's.
Huh?
Shorty Capone's a friend of my father's.
Absolutely. Yeah. He know Bob. Yep. The OGs all know each other.
The OGs.
So I went to XL's crib, and me and him are just digging through beats for hours and hours and hours. It must have been like 4 or 5 hours. We just wouldn't stop, and we finally found that one beat, because XL had, hundreds of beats, and we found a beat, and I'm like, I know this record's nasty, but it's gonna go platinum. He's like, you think? I said, this is a hit. And then I went to Shorty and I said, listen, you guys got a hit record, but I need you to give me the beat on credit, because the little money that I have saved up, I want to work the record and get it going at Mix Show so I can make Def Jam pick it up and make it the official single. So Shorty, being my man, he's like, okay, I won't charge you right now, but you got to make it work. So I had like 17 grand or something like that. And I bootlegged my own record, and what I mean by that was, back in the day, this was 2006, it was like 20 years ago, you used to have these CD pros, which was like a little CD single that radio promotion guys would service to radio stations to get their records played on the radio. And we were getting no attention from Def Jam, not really a lot of attention from DTP at the time, more resistance than attention. And I took the DTP logo, put it on the CD. I put the Def Jam logo, put it on the CD. And I put the Hustle logo and put it on the CD. And then I hired TJ from TJ's DJs, who is like an OG record promoter, managed B.O.B. and K-Camp, and just like a well-respected industry guy. And my team, Happy, and my whole crew. And I bootlegged the record, essentially, and I lied to radio stations and was like, yeah, this is our new single from Def Jam, blah, 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 but it wasn't. It was just a hot record that I framed as if it was coming from the label, but it was coming from me. It wasn't coming from any label. And I was paying DJs to get it going, because I knew that if I could just get a little spark, it would take. And then it got so hot, we got this remix. I mean, Lil Wayne was on the remix. Pharrell was on the Pharrell's hottest verse ever is on my remix. If you ever go to YouTube and put in, Getting Some remix featuring Pharrell, Lil Wayne, and Ludacris, you'll hear it. It was insane. So yeah, it was I kind of conned the system, and it worked. We ended up selling, 1.6 million copies, and made Def Jam close to $2 million off the single, and then it drove and saved the sales of a compilation album. So we made a couple $1 million.
Now, when you say Def Jam, I saw it was Disturb the Peace. It was like Ludacris. Now.
Yeah, so Disturbing the Peace was the furnishing company. Def Jam was the partner, the distributor, essentially. Yeah.
So now, did you guys work it with Def Jam and then they put it with DTP, or were you?
No, they were already. She was always signed to DTP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the whole deal was always DTP Def Jam. It was a joint venture.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were technically just a marketing company, but we were acting as a third partner, although we weren't compensated as a third partner, but we were acting as a third partner by creating the record, marketing the record, promoting the record, A&Ring the record, and executive producing the record. Yeah. So, but that's just how we moved. We were just by any means necessary. We had a client, we believed in them. Shauna, 20 years later, is still getting shows here and there off of that record. You know what I mean? So I'm glad it worked out.
Now, how did Trinidad James?
Trinidad James was something I saw on Worldstar. Remember Worldstar?
Yeah.
So I saw Trinidad's video for All Gold Everything the first day it came out. And I said, this song is going platinum. I told my man, I said, now I don't know if he has a follow-up. I don't know if it's the real thing. But this song is going platinum. So what happened was I called all around Atlanta, and there was a guy named Amir who used to work a lot of records for Grand Hustle, and just like, like an Atlanta radio guy. And I knew him just, from being in the business. I finally got up with Amir and I said, listen, there's this kid, named Trinidad James. He has this thing. I want to see if I can get involved. And I believe the label is called Think It's a Game, TIG. And then he's like, oh yeah, I know the guy, blah, blah, blah. His name's Fly, he's cool. I'll plug you with him. So I ended up cultivating a relationship with Fly and, talking, whatever. And me and a friend of mine named Kennard Carter, who used to be the program director at WGCI, which is the big iHeart station in Chicago. Kennard was friends with Ghazi, who I didn't know at the time. And I can't remember everything because it was so long ago, but somehow we got the record to Ghazi and then got Fly to Ghazi and brokered the initial distribution deal for All Gold Everything through Empire before they signed to Def Jam. So for a brief moment, I was getting, royalties and stuff. Very small amount, you know what I mean? But it was more of like a positioning play for me, you know what I mean? And yeah, so that's how it happened. I literally saw it on Worldstar and just attacked immediately and just didn't stop calling my friends in Atlanta until I got a phone number on this guy, Fly. And Fly is, my guy to this day. And he's successful. He broke Rich Homie Quan and Wife and Lucci, and he's doing his thing.
Damn. All right, so we get to go All Gold Everything.